Hey everyone, Catherine Jarris here. Pronouns are they, them, and theirs. I am a professional psychic and I'm a professional brow artist, and this is the channel for both. Today, the topic I'm going to talk about is what is a breath tunnel. And the breath tunnel is something that came up for me in a reading when I was doing it for someone, which is where I learn a lot of things is on the job. And so what had occurred was I was doing a reading for someone, and what I was being shown in the reading was them working with people who had crossed over or who were in the process of crossing over, and what happened with their, if some people want to call it soul or whatever, as it was leaving this body. And when I asked them about what I was being shown, that's when they revealed to me that they were actually in the process of studying to be a death doula, and they worked in a hospice situation or hospice setting. And I honestly at the time had never heard of a death doula before. I heard of birth doulas, but I had never heard of a death doula. But when she explained to me what she did, helping people as they left this body and as they passed, and helping them through comfort through that, it made sense to me, and I think it's amazing. But what I was being shown is what I call breath tunnel. And what was interesting is that person then validated for me that they had seen that in their experience as well in helping with people. So when I say breath tunnel, what I was shown, and I do my best to try to explain how I get it shown in my head to me, or relay what was, I'm hearing in my ear about it. And do also know that I close my eyes a lot when I read. So sometimes when I'm trying to connect back with my guides or that happens, I get pulled into that. So just so you know. So what I was shown with that is that, your breath. So we all hear these things where like, breath is life, be one with your breath. It's so important. It's how you live. But like a lot of things over time, the meaning can get diluted, or the story of it can get changed over time. And so I want to visit on that a little bit, because it's more than just breath is life is what I was shown. It's that breath is part of your transition out of this life into your next one. So I refer to sometimes the things like yoga when I'm trying to explain this story, because that's when I would get exposed to a lot when I had done yoga classes in the past, and they would say, focus on your breath, breathe in and breathe out, and excellent, great practice to do. But you breathe in, and sometimes they breathe in light and exhale out worries. I don't know, depending on who is doing it. And so when I breathe in, and when I do a focus, when I'm doing readings, I do what I call is just basically like my protective barrier that I use, that I do conscientious of only my guides and guardians, and the person that I'm reading for, their guides and guardians are allowed within that shield of mine, so that I can safely step out of this world into that world, and that I know I'm protected. And so that breath, when I do that, I blow out my breath and I visualize that protective shield around me, which some people I've heard refer to that as like your white light. Okay. Some people, if you think about like days of old, like I think like Renaissance, days of old, whatever, the cloaks they walk around with and stuff, those are actual like physical barriers that, have been used by people throughout time. So, there's physical and energetic barriers that help people put that shield around them. And I always say whatever works for you is the right thing. Your practice may not work for me, mine may not work for you. The important thing is that you're doing it. But what I got expanded on in this reading, and what I learned, because that's often what happens to me in readings, I get something new almost every single time. And that makes sense because I know about, this much of this world and that one. And so, what they showed me how important that breath is because it's not just solely for life here, it's for life outside of here. And what they showed me is that if you can get yourself where you're so, I guess, automatically connected to your breath, and it's your protection and your shielding with it, when you're breathing your last physical breath here, and if you're focusing on that breath being your part of your shield, what happens when you're crossing over is that they showed me that breath actually making a protective tunnel that was part of like your transport between worlds. Because if you remember what I mentioned earlier, and things like that I'm going to say right now, they're going to bounce over different videos all the time because these things are always hitting back on each other. But you heard me say earlier, I put a shield around me when I read, because I need to make sure I'm protected and safe when I'm doing things. And sometimes that's a different concept for people because they think, I don't get it. Love and light, isn't it all good? And the best way I can tell people is, no, just like not everyone's all good here. Not everything's all good out there either. And it'd be the equivalent of, living reckless and free and not protecting yourself here as the same as out there. Okay. So, when we transition between worlds and using that breath as a breath tunnel, breathing in, then using our last breath, it creates that safe passageway. I actually I walked with someone for part of it through only a little part because it wasn't mine to go through, but enough that they could show me. And it was like what would that word, like a connection tunnel. If you wanted like a direct flight, okay? And so all this stuff was still on the outside, like all kinds of things, like different. Have you ever heard people say like different like planes or different like frequencies or different universes or whatever? Yeah, it's all out there. Okay, so it helped you so you didn't have to go through all of this stuff to get to your end destination, and so that you were able to do it in a safe passageway and protected, and that your guides and your guardians were with you, protecting you while you got there and getting you to what some people call the other side, whatever that other side is for you. And these are other things I'll talk about in other videos with things that have been shown. So I call it the breath tunnel. And if you can get a conscious understanding of that now, and it's easier to talk about it not being in the situation, because it's scary. I get that. I get that it's scary for people when they're passing or they're with someone who's passing, or it's on the horizon for them. Sorry. And I get that, but if you can have an awareness of it now, it's a gift that'll help you so it isn't so scary and such a struggle when the moment comes for you. Because if you can use that breath and you use it as part of your shield and part of your aura, some people call it aura, lots of different terms mean the same thing, heads up everyone. When you're crossing over that breath and that protection shield can create that breath tunnel for you that is your safe passageway to where you're going, and just makes it so that it's less confusing and you're really protected well, and you're able to get where you want to go much quicker and sooner, and less fearful, honestly. And so some people will naturally fall into that when they pass, and some people may fight it or struggle or be scared. So it's nice if you can catch that breath and ride with it when the time comes, or if you can help someone to catch that breath and ride with it when their time comes. Yeah, that's just a little bit of one of the millions of things I've been shown. And let me know if you've had experience with the same thing at all, or what kind of thoughts that brings for you. All right, take care. Hi, thanks for watching. If you'd like more psychic or bra-related content, be sure to comment and let me know. Otherwise, I'll see you next time. Take care.